right, y'all, we back with another video. Y'all know how we do. Always pushing health, wealth, and a better understanding of self. So Van Jones just got himself in hot water. Well, he been in hot water, but now we done had enough. So have y'all noticed every time they need something said, they always choose a black man, a sellout black man. That's who they're going to choose to say the most stupidest thing. And it's disrespectful to us, our culture, our lineage, that it's okay for our people to feel like to put themselves in this position. Now, when we watch this, a lot of people are going to say, he just said something and he's saying, he's apologizing. But I'm going to get into why. Same thing what Fat Joe said. This is marketed PR stunts that's meant to try to change the mindsets of the people. And it doesn't work, so they have to apologize. Or not, Fat Joe ain't apologize, but here nor there. Let's go into this. Shout out to Sabby Sab for covering this, but we got to cancel him. He's canceled. He already been a Sambo for the higher ups. And this is who Stevie Knight wants to be like. You and Officer Tatum, you look up to these points, to the fact that you sound like these guys. Y'all got to check out my video I did on him. We got to expose these guys, and I hate to do it. I would rather talk about other issues rather than having to speak about my people that come from my lineage that saying some of the most craziest things and covering for people that they're not even covering for their own. We have to speak on this and let people know is they're doing this for this reason, because it just looks weird. When have you seen Van Jones standing on business for what we got going on in the community? Without further ado, I ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer. Let's get it.
That has people handing Van Jones his ass.
But isn't part of that because we had to fold everything into critical race theory, and somehow the Middle East became part of,
I see it differently, and I love this conversation because I think people, those of us who went to college, give a lot more credit to college courses for how the world works than I do. This is not about critical race theory on college campus. This is about Iran. Iran and Qatar have come up with a disinformation campaign that they are running through TikTok and Instagram that is massive. If you are a young person, you open up your phone and all you see is dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby, right. Diddy, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby. Like, that's basically your whole feed. So that's not DEI. That is a geopolitical adversary that is deliberately trying to.
Well, if you can tell who he's trying to push and side for, we already know you on CNN. We understand the rules and how they play with the media. You guys are revealing yourselves right now. This is not the time to be on the side of them people and voicing, like, what does this have to do with you? Just like when we seen Officer Tatum, he's traveling over there, getting in their business. We know you have to be getting paid or you have to be on a side for you to even want to be talking about this, in my opinion. There's other things, you're an American that you could be on. Why would you be speaking like this? And we know they paying influencers $7,000. Officer Tatum claiming he ain't making no money. He just doing it for free. And he may be lame enough to do that. He may be wanting to be in so much that he'll do it for free. But we know the higher ups are paying y'all to do this, and this is who we call sellouts.
Divide the West against itself.
That view is not.
Does he have any evidence to prove that Iran and Qatar, by the way, is an ally of the United States? As Professor Morandi was telling you guys, it's a proxy of the U.S. Does he have any evidence that proves that Iran and Qatar are running disinformation campaigns on social media, on TikTok, etc.? But we do have evidence that Israel is paying influencers to run disinformation campaigns about Israel and Gaza. But he doesn't say that, and there's a reason why. So first problem. Second problem.
That they are running through TikTok and Instagram that is massive. If you are a young person, you open up your phone and all you see is dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby,
Right.
Diddy, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby.
If you are a young person and that's all you see, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby, dead Gaza baby, Diddy, dead Gaza baby, that's what you're seeing because that's what's happening.
Salute to Sabby, man.
There was nothing funny about that. It also leads to this idea that Van Jones is basically trying to say the videos that you are seeing of the dead Gaza babies are disinformation campaigns activated by Iran and Qatar. Everybody make the connection. Van Jones is trying to downplay the death toll in Gaza, the number of babies that have been killed in Gaza. He's trying to downplay it. There are reasons for this. He turned off the comments, by the way. He turned off the comments for his apology, which we'll get to in just a second. But I got to show you this. 8 years ago, Van Jones was on CNN and he asked this question after Donald Trump won in 2016. And he said, how do I explain this to my children? Almost in tears. You know, he liked to cry. How do I explain this to my children? So I just want to take you back to that moment just to show you what a hypocrite Van Jones is. Remember this?
First of all, congratulations. Both of you guys were.
We're not there yet.
Well, you're further than anybody said you would be. And I have enough class, and I was raised well enough to say when you outdo,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
When you outdo expectations, good for you. But there's another side to this. People have talked about a miracle. I'm hearing about a nightmare. It's hard to be a parent tonight for a lot of us. You tell your kids, don't be a bully. You tell your kids, don't be a bigot. You tell your kids, do your homework and be prepared. And then you have this outcome and you have people putting children to bed tonight and they're afraid of breakfast. They're afraid of, how do I explain this to my children? I have Muslim friends who are texting me tonight saying, should I leave the country?
Pause. Because you see, I wanted to take you back to these remarks from Van Jones when Donald Trump was about to win the election. That's when they were saying it was too close to call in those swing states there, with the exception of New Hampshire, which isn't really a swing state. So I had to show you this. You know why? Because he said, people are saying, how do I explain this to my children? And he said, I have Muslim friends asking, should I leave the country? That was Van Jones 8 years ago. So let's turn this question around on Van. Van, after you said dead baby, dead baby, dead baby, and alluded to this being just disinformation and propaganda by Iran and Qatar, how do you explain that to your children?
So there y'all see it, man. The streets is on Van Jones heavy, but he's a Sambo. He's been in alignment with them people. We just have to expose these people because they muddy the waters with what they say. And that's what he got paid to do right now. He got paid to put out disinformation to make it look like what's happening over there in Gaza is not really happening. But you could tell you got to have people that just really don't care about children to be on their side, because it's a big ring that they deal with children in the wrong way. So I can understand if you down with the higher ups on any way, you probably don't like children at all. You don't care for them, in my opinion. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace and love.
You are totally dependent on other people to take care of your needs because you don't have those roots sunk into the ground. To have a community, you must have three things to have a community in it. You must have a wholly independent economic structure that can provide goods, service, products, and things for your own people, and jobs and tax bases for your own people. You should at least control four basic things You should be trying to control water, food, medicine, and energy to be able to survive.
Here we got Mr. Pollock. He had a cornfield. He took advantage of a free water test from us, and this is what we found in this water. We found sulfur, we found hardness, and we solved these problems with an easy fix of 2 tanks. So get your free water test today. Stay blessed. Click the link below.